Hey, I'm Tony K. Welcome to Transformation School. Today's lesson is going to cover 3 generations of Cosmos. We have the 2014 Generations Cosmos, the 2008 Universe Cosmos, and the 1984 Generation 1 Cosmos, plus Payload. Let's take a look at Payload first, just because he's so quick and easy. We stand him up. Let's flip his wings up here. And we've got him in robot mode. If we bring this yellow tab out and slide his feet up to his waist, we have him in weapon mode. Moving on, let's bring him back down and put him back into space shuttle mode. And we'll take Generations Cosmos first. Let's take his rocket pack and lift it up. And then we're going to turn him 180 degrees on his waist. It just means taking this side and turning it away from me. Now there's a pivot on his hips, and we'll pivot those up. We'll rotate his legs so that his toes point in towards each other. And then at the top of his knee, we'll pivot, and then at the bottom of his knee, pivot on these 2 pins. And the same on the other side. Bringing that together. And we'll bring his arms, pivoting at this pin and inside of here at the same time, bringing this tab up to this slot. Do the same on the other side. And now right here at the shoulder, rotating this down. Do the same on the other side. And now there's, on the bottom of his rocket pack tail fin section, there's a tab on each side and a slot next to his fists. Also a tab at the end of one fist and a slot at the end of another fist. We'll bring all of that together. And now there's a little bit of a tab here at the back of his heel that will slide in below his chest. Same on the other side. We'll push that head down. Oh, you can take a look here. This paint comes off so easily. I carried him in my pocket at work for 2 weeks, but just after the first day, this red paint started wearing off. We'll push his head down. And one last little gimmick. These 2 guns on the front can peg into the thrusters on the back of the rocket. Since this design is based on the IDW comic books, I'm wondering if that was from a scene in the comic book at some point. Let's set him aside and move on to the Universe Cosmos. We're going to unplug his waist section by pulling down and back and rotate it up towards his back and plugging that back in. Now this figure is, again, it's several years old, and the head very loosely dropped right down. Let's rotate his hip so that this slot is now facing the top of the spaceship. Doing the same on the other side. We'll pivot on this hinge, rotating that foot. Pivot on this hinge, rotating the bottom of the foot to the tail fin. I guess I'll have to work on his arms just to get his foot in there. There's a tab and a slot at the near his hand on one side and a tab and a slot on the other side. We'll tab that together. And now I see a tab, a very large tab, that will slot in. Same on the other side. And this came free, so we'll peg that back in. There we go. And just a little bit of wiggling to line everything up. And we've got Universe Cosmos done. And now G1 Cosmos will slide his arm down at the shoulder. Same on the other side. We'll rotate his fingers back. They're either fingers or guns, or finger guns. And now at the hips and at the bottom of the feet, we'll rotate. Let's do the feet first. We'll rotate that down. And now bring his legs and feet up. And then we will slide them in. And finally push his head down. And here we have all three Cosmoses in vehicle mode. And now for transformation back to robot mode, let's start with our generations again. Stick around after the bell for an opportunity to earn extra credit. Now for transformation from vehicle mode back to robot mode, we'll lift up on the thrusters, the tail fin. We're going to grab this foot, slide it out to our right, and then bring it stretched out. Now grab this foot, slide it out to our left, and we got a hinge in there, a hinge in here, and we're going to turn the foot away from us, so we're looking at the back hollow side of the leg. Same on the other side. Now we already freed this tail fin. We'll move the arm. We're going to pivot here, and we'll do the same on the other side. Next we've got a pin hinge here and another pivot point inside to bring the arm down. Let's repeat that on the other side. And we'll twist the figure on this pivot point. And then on this hinge on the waist, we will tuck the pelvis in forward so that this rounded space fits into this rounded opening. And then behind the head, there's a little bit of a groove that you can get a fingernail or a tool into to help lift the head up. And if you pull it up far enough, the white on the base of his neck will meet flush with the top of his chest and shoulders. If I haven't mentioned already in this video, this red paint on his head is severely wearing off. I carried this figure around in my pocket at work for several weeks, and so it's just wear and tear. But he's a redhead going white. Same as me. It's sort of like his casemate. We've got Swerve, and he must have the same paint on his Autobot symbol because that Autobot symbol is wearing off on his chest. And now Universe. Let's unpeg the hands, pull the foot open. We got this pin here. There's a tab under there, let's free that. Now rotating on this pin, and turn the leg, repeat on the other side, free this tab, extend it, turn it away, and now unpeg the tail fin and plug it in below the torso. I'm going to unpeg that, push his head back down. There's a little lever here that as you rotate the hips into robot mode, his head comes up. Very simple. And now our G1 Cosmos. Let's pull his legs, his feet towards us, rotate them down, turn the feet up, raise the arm, turn it towards us, and here we can raise the arm on the other side, and turn that down, and raise his head. And there you have it, class. 3 generations of Cosmos in one video. That's it for today's lesson. Class dismissed. So, thank you for sticking around for the extra credit. As you can see, there are no more G1 Cosmos and Universe Cosmos here. After the initial filming, I had taken the figures back to the G.I. Joe vs. Transformers store and Pop Culture Paradise in Phoenix to exchange them for a G1 Swerve to use in my review of the Generation Swerve. And then I'd started editing the video for Cosmos, and I saw that during my whole transformation process, I was cutting off the top of his body. You know, it's a mistake that I've seen a lot of reviewers make, but for sticking around, you have all earned 2 thumbs up in my book. See you next class.